Hello, and welcome to Decorating Pages podcast. I am your host, Kim Wanna. How's it going? It's mid-March, people. Do you know what that means? It means a quarter of this year is gone. And what are we doing? What's going on? We've had a very exciting year, I would say, so far in TV and film. I feel like it's been a good year. I know the Oscars didn't do well. And I feel like, isn't that because no one watches it live anymore? Or how about no one could find it on Hulu the next day, probably? So, I mean, I know I had that problem. I explained it. I was trying to do it live, and all of a sudden, Disney Plus Hulu didn't have it on. Only Hulu had it on. I don't have Hulu. I have Disney Plus Hulu. It's bullshit. Anyway, maybe they should factor that into it instead of giving it like nobody gives a shit about movies. I think a lot of people do. And I think that's why we're still making movies. I started a job. I started a new show. So happy to be working, happy to get the crew working, happy to start hiring and spending money in Los Angeles. And I have to say, I have been out the past week shopping and in the prop houses. And I feel pleasantly surprised of how many tags I've seen. It's a lot of like second, third season, maybe. There's a couple new shows in there, but spinoff or two. And I was like, oh, these hold tags, there's a lot of hold tags out there. If you don't know what a hold tag is, it's when a decorator or buyer puts a physical tag on a piece of furniture in a prop house to hold it. Like, don't take this chair. I'm going to use this chair. I'm picking it up on this date, probably for a week or two. You can't use it. It's that type of thing. And it's basically honor code. So, and believe me, I've had a tag taken off in my day. It's not nice. You know who you are. I know what you did. But yeah, so there's I feel like there's a good amount of hold tags. I was at Warner Brothers Prop House today. There was 5 trucks in the bay picking up, doing returns, whatnot. So maybe it's picking up. I mean, I've heard of a couple things even starting up in the next month or so. And that's, it's taking time, but hopefully we get there. I know that there's so much legislation going on to try to help the TV and film industry, and that's awesome. And I've signed many petitions. I've written to the senators. I've done it myself. And I know the SDSA and our IATSE and our Local 44, they're very into doing all that. So you can look up on their websites any place that you feel like you need to write a letter to try to express how you feel about TV and film staying in LA. And there is the Stay in LA campaign, which I also follow on Instagram, and they have a great things going there and trying to rally up support. I would say, films for a very, very long time have shot out of town. It's not films. In fact, this week I watched The Treasure of Sierra Madre. I'd never seen it with Humphrey Bogart, and that is 1948, and they shot mostly in Mexico. So, films have been going out of town. Now, always you want LA to shoot for LA. What was that? Like Miami Vice was set in LA and they shot somewhere else. No, not Miami Vice. It was something else. It was like they shot all of LA in Louisiana or something ridiculous. Shoot it here. That hurts. That hurts our feelings. But it's TV that has gone away. It's TV that is cheaper to make in Bulgaria than here. That hurts our feelings. That hurts our industry. That's what we're missing. TV has slowly gone away. First it was to Canada, and So yeah, hopefully we get some back, and we get some actors who say, I'm not going out of town, and showrunners. That's who has to put their foot down, really, is people who have the decision-making power to stay in town. Yes. And stay in the U.S., stay in New York, stay in Louisiana, Pittsburgh, wherever you got to do, just stay here. How about that? Let's try that. I want to talk about the SDSA. They have some wonderful things coming up. Speaking of this weekend, WonderCon. I was privileged to be on a panel 2 years ago, and it's really special. It's really fun. It's at the Anaheim Convention Center, March 28th at 11 a.m. They are doing a talk with set decorators Ashley Michelle Marsh of Pluribus, who has been on this podcast twice. She's a delight. And Laurie Gaffin, a set decorator of Captain Marvel. Laurie also, what was the name of it? She also has a book out called Moving Still, a cinematic life frame by frame, where she has tons of set photos that she has taken over her amazing career. I'm hoping to speak to her soon. So those two are at a panel, again, March 8th, 11 a.m., room 207 at the Anaheim Convention Center. And then the set decoration of Wonder Man, Saturday, September 28th at 3 p.m., room 300A at the Convention Center. That is set decorator Lizzie Boyle, SDSA, assistant decorator Nicole Riley, and set decoration buyer Avery Ferguson. So these panels are fantastic. There is another one also, and congrats to Wonder Man on getting a pickup of season 2. I have the designers and the decorator coming up in a couple weeks for an interview, so you can listen to that. And then the last one at WonderCom, which I think is you can't miss. Set decoration for puppets. What? Sunday, March 29th at 1 p.m., room 300A at the Convention Center, with Don Deers, who did the Muppets in 2015, Julie Dratch, who is the decorator of Crank Anchors, and Bethany Barton, who did just the recent Muppets in 2026. So that's a spectacular panel about decorating for puppets. And I had Don on the podcast years ago. We talked about the Muppets and how he decorated and got everything, at the right scale for them. Amazing. Really amazing. So I'm sure that those 3 talks are going to be fantastic. So yeah, let's get into a little bit of what Wanup's watching. As I said, I saw The Treasure of Sierra Madre, 1948. I had never seen it. Humphrey Bogart. It's on like every director's, one of my favorite film lists. So I finally got around to it. And production designer John Hughes and set decorator Fred McLean. And it's a lot of desert in there, but they make this whole gold station, and they're in the mountain, and it's a lot of mountain. It's a lot of outside, so I could see why they did some of it in Mexico, according to IMDb. I felt like Bogart was a little over the top in the film, but it's still really good. Like the other players in the film are really good. It's directed by John Huston. Is it directed? Yeah. Really well directed, good character actors in that. So I would say if you haven't seen it, check it out. What else am I? I'm still watching Love Story. Again, I think Lydia Marks and Alex Durang, something. They did a fantastic job with the designs, and just a huge flashback of the 90s. I feel might even have a resurgence now because of this. I mean, the fashion was not great in the 90s, but the Calvin Klein fashion, just like, the solids and just color blocking and jeans and, casual but looking crisp. I think hopefully that comes back. I like it. I would have to say the last 2 episodes of Love Story have been boring as shit, but I'm still watching it. I'm still watching these pretty people. They had our bottle episode, this last one. They were in the apartment the whole time, watching smoke of a cigarette and her under a glass table. Beautiful glass table, Lydia. But man, it's I don't know. It probably could have ended at 6 episodes, I would say. So I am excited to see. I think this week is the last episode. I do know how it ends, but let's see how they do it. So that's exciting. I'm watching so many others I've talked about before. I'm still watching The Pit, which is fucking phenomenal. The Pit is fantastic. I'm watching Rooster. I'm watching DTF St. Louis. I'm into it. Jason Bateman being Jason Bateman, I'm in. So not as much TV time this week because I'm working, people. And I should say I had a sneak peek of a whole season of a Marvel show that I watched already. I had to binge it this past weekend. And I'm excited to say I'll be talking to the designer and decorator soon. And I can't say what it is, but we're going to get there. It's going to be great. So, yes, let's get into this fantastic episode. So, I had watched The Night Manager 10 years ago, like everybody else. And it was a good show, and it's kind of cat and mouse, but like interesting, great characters. And yeah, I mean, just a good, it's a good all around show. Now, it's back 10 years later. So I am talking to production designer Victor Molero about season 2 of The Night Manager, and the multiple countries and units that they had to make one place look like another is kind of mind-boggling when you listen to how much all over the world they were in. They were in Syria they were in Barcelona, doubling as London. They were all over South America, and just I don't know. I don't know how you. I think that has, and I talk about it. It has to be the hardest part is communicating and keeping that thread through the whole look of the show when you have different decorators and different art directors, and you're the one pulling it all together. It's a huge job for a production designer. Victor came onto the project, had worked with the executive producer before, so that was good. But in season 2, the directors, the DP, production design, they were all new to his show because, I mean, as nice as it probably would have been to get the band back together after 10 years, it's hard. It's hard to do. So they kind of had a freedom to freshen it up a little and, blossom this visual language throughout the show, but also honoring what the first season and the first story was, but giving it that 10 years later reality. Again, I mean, they built a jungle. There's a gorgeous museum space that they had real artists making art for them in gold. That is something to be seen, which you can see all of this on the YouTube video, see exactly what we're talking about. The museum is one thing because in the show, I actually thought it was much bigger than the photos he sent. So it's great to see how they shot that to make it look so big. And the artist made like, I think 12 or 15 real pieces for this exhibit, and they're awesome. They are awesome. He also has it on his Instagram. So if you check out Victor's Instagram, it's awesome. And this huge villa that was basically falling apart, a compound for the cartel that they took over and redid for like the end of the series. You don't want to give stuff away, but this huge compound at the end that they completely redid is pretty amazing also. And he's got some wild stories about restoring this compound, a big huge mansion or whatever. So yeah, we get into all of that. He also has a fantastic accent, so you gotta love that. I hope you enjoy.
Yes, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, but it's something that I love, and it's something I'm always very involved in the set deck part with my set deck. I completely admire and respect what's meant to do that job.
Yeah, it's hard. I know.
It's really
We work together. We're a couple. We work together. We had to. Yeah.
yeah.
So I was gonna ask, after this show being off for so long, did they give you any like a design roadmap of like how to advance these characters in their sets? And I mean, I was just wondering, just because we've come back after so long, did they make that clear, or was that something you needed to discover in the design and the decor?
I think I arrived to the project through Stephen Garrett, that he did is the executive producer of the first one. I worked with him before, like 4 or 5 years ago, in a project called Culprit. And that's why he called me to do this project. And of course, he's part of the creation. It's a kind, Stephen for me is, I will say, he's not the writer, of course, but he has a kind of creative side of the whole show, because he was in the first one. He thought that I was perfect for this. And it was and for example, the director Georgie Vance Davis, that she's amazing. She arrived at the same time new as me. The whole crew, the whole creative, like the DOP, the director, me, the designer, we were completely new to the project, but of course we knew the show. And I think we talk a lot about that, but we always, I can say that we had a kind of freedom. And in a way, there was no any approach that we need to be really faithful with what we did. Of course, we are telling an extension of the story of the narration, but nothing. There wasn't any rules that we couldn't go through. For example, the director for her was very important, the authenticity of the whole thing, you know. But no, I think the interesting approach was that we wanted to fill the 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, and that is even in the character, you know, have been 10 years, and you can feel that in the story, and that even make the story even more real.
Yeah.
So that was one on the intentions, but nothing, there wasn't any rules to
Oh, that's good.
Mm.
Except for traveling to like 6 different countries. Except for trying to make one country look like another. Which I should say, I really enjoyed A Gentleman in Moscow. So beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, those sets are so romantic in a sense and so beautiful. So what a difference to this reality and grittiness
It's
and
it's
yeah,
completely.
you
My
could
agent was saying to me, "Are you sure that you want to do this one? That is
yeah.
so completely another world." And it's really funny because it was Moscow, and we didn't put a foot in Moscow in Russia, you know. So we design and build and shoot the whole show in Manchester.
Oh wow.
Yes, in a
So
studio, and even we use locations in Bolton, that is a small village close to Manchester, and that was, it was really completely different, you know, because I spent like 1 year of my life in Manchester doing A Gentleman in Moscow.
oh wow.
It was an amazing experience because we create the whole thing from zero, and it was like, as you said, you know, it was like a tale, you know.
Yeah.
So the Bolshevik revolution, but we were not trying to be accurate with the times. We were trying to be accurate with the book. That is amazing. You know, I don't know if you know the
I
book.
don't know the book. I had only seen the series.
Yeah, Amor Tolls did an amazing story and book, and to read the book was like to visualize the whole thing, and it's like a tale. So we wanted to do that, to feel that the people was watching a tale, and with that
Achieved.
cast, that was amazing.
Oh yeah.
We really have fun, and we really enjoy. I think I can say it's one of my favorite jobs that I've never done.
Yeah. It's so great in our world to be able to do periods and then current day and then sci-fi. Like the things that we get to do are so amazing. So
Thank you.
when you get into this and you're like, "Oh, I gotta," you always have to like switch gears, although it's time has passed. Like a lot of time has passed, I'm sure. How much prep time did you have for this show?
So for the night manager, I think one of the things that's why I thought that was right, is because I wanted to work again with Stephen as someone that I really admire, and I like to be by his side in a way, and that's why. And he said, you know, I think we are going to treat very well the show. So, and we know that with your advantage to have, you know, a different. I've been working in UK for the last 15 years, and I know very well what it's to work there. And I've been working in Spain in national project before I went to London, so I know very well Spain. So they wanted to take advantage of my two cultural
Right.
experience in both cultures. And we started to. So I think I was like between three and a half months doing the prep. But the first part of the project, we were traveling between London, Colombia, and Spain every 2 weeks. So that
Oh,
was insanely complicated, because you were all the time in different time zones.
yeah.
So,
Adjusting.
when I finished, I felt that I was all there like 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure. Like, because the time zones really catch up with you, and you're scouting. It's not like, and you're in the van all day. You're looking at pictures. You're going here and there, and it's like, I don't know where I am. I don't know where we are right now.
and even and even in Colombia, o sea, because the idea for the producer that was very good, it was to try to get more in Europe, in Spain.
Mm,
So they asked me about, where do you think we can do Colombia right in Spain? So I said, I think,
oops.
and I've never put a foot in Colombia, but I thought that would be Barcelona and Canary Islands, because we shoot around like 4 or 5 weeks in Colombia, and like 11 weeks or something like that in Spain, and 2, 3 weeks in London,
Mm,
the first
the
episode.
first one.
So the even you need to put on top of that in Colombia we shoot in 3 different cities, and Colombia is huge.
Yeah,
Not so huge like your country, but it's big.
yeah,
And in Spain we shoot in Barcelona and Tenerife, Canary Islands. So that's mean a lot of travels,
yeah.
and many units.
Yeah. So Alba Bravo was your main set decorator? Did you have different decorators in different countries?
Yes,
Yeah,
completely.
yeah.
So in UK, I always work with Usal Kaliuku
Mm,
Smitha. That is she did with me, for example, A Gentleman in Moscow, and she did other project in UK with me. She's amazing. We work together. We really enjoy to work together, and even it's funny because she's has been working in UK forever, but she's Turkish, so
mm.
she has a kind of Mediterranean approach similar than me.
Yeah.
And and that's, I think, maybe we are so connected. We really enjoyed to work together. But the producer didn't wanted to carry any one of the
Yeah.
British unit, because the British unit was really small. We did only like 2 weeks.
Mm,
So and of course I have another Colombian set deck that was Melissa Villegas, and she was amazing in Colombia.
nice.
And I had in Spain Alba too. Yeah.
So you're coordinating all three decorators then, and you're coordinating art directors and everything while you're traveling and scouting and prepping locations and builds and everything. So,
Yeah, it was different unit. Yeah.
yeah, it's not, but you had 3.5 months, but did you do Colombia first and then come back to Spain?
No, the idea was really good because they decided to do first London. That
Mm,
it was good, but it's true at the same time was complicated because London was the easier part
right, right, right,
of the show.
right,
The most difficult one was Spain because we
right.
did the bigger part in Spain. But the good thing is they decided to do Colombia before Spain, and that for me was very important
Mm,
because it took me the possibility. It made me the possibility to understand how was that country, because
yeah,
I need to replicate that country,
yeah,
and I wanted to do it. I think it's sometimes when you, and I'm sure you are agree with me on this. Sometimes when you see another countries on shows or in films, sometimes are treated not really in a respect way, and it's full of, you can see, full of stereotype.
yeah,
So I didn't want that. I hate when I see that. For example, if I see Spain in a British film and I
yeah,
feel that that's not Spain, it's felt awful.
yeah,
Not really. So that's why for me it was really important to have an experience with a Colombian team to know the country, to travel through the country, to understand how they are, how they live. And I think that was really, really, really important because I need to recreate the whole country in
Oh,
Spain, two different cultures.
well, yeah, it's two completely different cultures, which I don't think a lot of people get either. So, I have some set photos here if we want to chat about this. I mean, is this a build? This is the autopsy place where he sees the body. Is this a build?
This is Syria,
This
and
is
this is done in Tenerife, Canary Island. And no, it's not a build. It's a location. It's an amazing location that we found in the island in Tenerife. But I built the I don't know how to say in English, the bed for the dead,
the
but it's
morgue, yeah, the morgue table. Yeah,
yes, and the walls.
and
For
the
example,
walls.
the walls, the tiles. Uh, there is a company in Spain that is really cool called The Wall that you can design the tile, and they do in plastic.
Oh, no.
So,
Yeah, these
so
the tile's great. The green is so great.
thank you. That is I designed the kind of tiles, and this company did for us to it's plastic, but they do
Oh,
like a in a yeah, in a wall, and they put it. The company is called The Wall. They are in Barcelona, and, and you can put the color, the different textures,
oh, that's
everything.
great.
Of course, there was a kind of when we put it, it was too bright, and I asked to our amazing scenic painter to dirt it down and did a lot of more work to make it look less bright.
Yeah,
But
you must
yes,
have had a lot of scenic painters on this show.
a lot.
Fantastic scenic paint. It's fantastic. I mean, the aging on things is great. And then the pristineness, the modern, you really take it from, grittiness to modern in this show too. It's really great. But yeah, this
Thank
morgue, I
you.
was like, is that a set? Look at these walls. How did they find that?
No, no,
So
it's an
great.
abandoned place in the middle of a very desertic Tenerife. Tenerife, I think is how do you say in
Yeah,
English.
yeah.
Tenerife is very strange island because half of the island is like to be in the north, and half of the island is like to be in the desert.
No,
So it was perfect for us.
that is good
Because, for example, in the
variety.
last episode, all the road that we see that is very Colombian are Tenerife because are really green
Oh,
with
the
the big
growth.
mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that is Tenerife. For example, this we did Syria when, and it was very. This is one of the last things that we shoot, and it was like a kind of homage because in these scenes, it's the first time that you put together Olivia Colman, Hugh Laurie, and Tom
Yeah.
Hiddleston.
Yeah.
It was like a homage to the first season, and it was really funny because it was for to check that the body of Hugh Laurie was dead.
Yeah.
So it was a strange situation. It was one of the last scenes that we did. So it was a kind of a homage to the series, to the show. That was really nice.
Yeah, Roper's is a real jerk.
Once
I mean, it's a great character. It's a
I love
great character.
I love him, and
Um,
he's as an actor, he's amazing.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And as a colleague, he's so it's
Well,
that kind of I know for my culture being in Spanish, I'm sure that for you too, that kind of British gentleman, but real.
oh yeah,
You is it that kind of real gentleman, British
he
gentleman?
he was on Veep when I was there, so that was like probably when he was finishing up the first season of this 2017, 18. And it's amazing to see him go in and out of the accent. That's what I thought was so I was like, wow, that is so cool. Just to be able to do that and he's such a good actor. So you believe whatever he's in. He's
Yeah,
such a
I love that his accent as a person is amazing.
yeah.
British accent, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Yeah.
So
So
this is a location, I'm assuming, but
this is a yeah.
is this in Colombia or is this in I'm gonna ask
It's
that every
Tenerife?
is
Sure,
tell
sure.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love to talk about that.
yeah,
This is exactly the same. Tenerife in Spain, Canary Island, and is a small village, very a kind of abandoned, a very how to say modest small village in a very desertic area of the island. So it was perfect to do Syria. So we did the whole street, with signage. For example, I decided to do this graffiti to create when they have the conversation. You cannot see a lot in the first episode, but it's there. Sometimes appear on the back.
Yeah.
And is or the scenic painter did it. My art directors created, and I wanted to be a little bit colorful, but at the same time, like sad. And that's how we did it. And in this same building, we did the hotel. So we used the same building. Like geographically, it was completely
different.
The same place.
Well, that's a threefer. So you got 3 locations out of one. That's a
three. The schedule, the assistant art director love you.
Yeah, there you go.
The assistant, no, the assistant, or the AD love you.
AD, yeah. The hotel is such a character too. Is this
it's
generated? Is this, because I was like, I don't know if this is your drawing or if this is real.
This is a concept.
This is the concept. To bring
This
it
is a concept. I can tell you. It's really funny because I became like an expert in hotel.
Right.
I did a gentleman in Moscow. That the whole thing is in a hotel, and now I'm doing the night manager. And it's hotels. So I became the designer of hotels. I don't know why. so yes, this hotel was very hard to do it because Georgie, the director, wanted to be something very Mediterranean, sleek, elegant, very like Nice, like the French coast, Riviera. And we needed to do it close to Barcelona where we were shooting. So I started to do the location. It was impossible to. And it was very important for the end of the episode, the first episode. So I found we wanted to be like in a cliff, close to the sea.
Yeah.
To make it more dramatic. So I found this building that the round top area is digital. So it's an apartment. It's an apartment. Building for to people to go. So it's just that. But I said we couldn't find a proper hotel in that way. I found this building that was really cool, and the place that was located was amazing. And I said, why not do a kind of, digital work?
Yeah.
I designed it. I put that cupola on the top, and it felt right for to do. And I put all the tents and all the greenery is digital.
Oh, and all the awnings.
The awnings, yeah. The awnings, yeah.
Oh, it's a nice up for the apartments. They should do that.
Yeah. So that's why it was the only way to solve that is because we couldn't find the proper thing that we were thinking to have that kind of very smart look for the end of the episode. And that's why and of course we add some greenery as well. The greens department did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it. So it's a little bit fake.
It's a lot of work, but it's the vision that you have. Do you know what I mean? Like to be able to sell that, like we can make this into the hotel. We can do this. It's like you have to sell it. Make it,
Yes, sometimes producers are like, "Are you sure of that?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing about concepts, because you can sell the idea and say, "Okay, that look right. Yeah, let's go to do it."
Yeah.
We told with digital, with VFX, visual effects guys, and they said, "Yes, that's no problem. Let's going to do that." And at the end, it was the solution that we found.
When you work, are you a sketcher? Are you digital? Like, how do you communicate?
I'm more digital. I can sketch. I did fine art, and I can sketch. But it's true that always for me, a sketch is something very personal, and it needs time. So when you are traveling, when you are doing, I'm more digital, and normally I work with a concept artist as well. So you in so many different places at the same time that I'm not, I don't have the time to sit down. I have the time I like, for example, to work through mood board
Mood boards.
because I like to do mood board because it's, for me, is the way to establish, for example, in this case, it was really important to establish a visual look of the whole series to understand how was Colombia for everyone, for all my different units. So for me to start conversation, I always walk through the mood board that I was doing with my units, with my different units, and they could understand why we're trying to do it, you know?
Yeah.
The sketches are good, but sometimes it's felt to me not enough good to communicate with my team.
Yeah.
Because it's not about sketches are amazing. I love when someone do it in a amazing way. It's amazing, but it's difficult to communicate to send a message to your team
Yeah.
what you needed
Yeah.
in the look, in the color, and in many other things. So that's why for me mood board are, in my opinion, are more efficient.
Oh, absolutely. Because too, you're communicating through countries and long schedules and I mean, I don't even know if you're shooting out of order probably and the
Yeah,
first episode
completely.
last and
It was
so
completely. You know that
yeah.
we shoot this at the end of the shooting.
Yeah.
That is the first episode.
Yeah.
So
You gotta be on the
so
same page. You gotta be on the same board. Gotta be
so
on the same page.
that's why concepts are so important because, for example, in this one that you are showing,
Yeah.
Roxana for me was like a kind of femme fatale,
Yeah.
like you know in classic
So
noir.
pretty. Yeah.
So because she's really mysterious and I love the character.
Yeah.
She's so badass, you know. But it's like in that black and white film, like Lauren Bacall, that she's very mysterious and dark, but at the same time she's seductive. And so for me, Roxy, her character was that. So I wanted to when Pine put her in that kind of small luggage, you know, in the Britco hotel,
Yeah.
I thought, what about if we create that mysterious neon on the door? So we found this location that was close to Paddington in London. We used that color and that patterns, that something very uh, touchy in a way. It
Yeah.
was like that's kind of small. We did the reception, another hotel, but completely
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
look.
Another
You
hotel.
know, a specialist. and, but I think the neon for me was very cool to do it
Yeah.
because and Tin Siedel, the DOP that I think is he's very talented. He did an amazing job.
Yes.
I'm so happy with him because he understood the color. I think he came. I think we have something in common. He did as well fine arts. So when I don't know what do you think, but when you find a DOP that understand what you're trying to do,
Yeah.
it's great, you know,
Yeah.
because you are talking the same language, the same code.
Yeah.
And he's really good with color. So he understood perfectly what I was trying to do. He even, you know, improved what I was doing.
Yeah. You don't
This case,
put a
when
DP afraid of color or light
you
or
know what I
white
mean?
or
No,
anything, you know?
thing is,
Yeah.
it was completely different. When I was talking about color, we think, well, oh yes, Victor, yeah, let's do all the neon thing. Yes, okay. I was talking about thing. What do you think, red or green? No, red. Let's go into the red. Red, great. I love red. So it was very easy and very cool. And Georgie was really trust on both each other, and she was always happy with our proposal. The director, that she's amazing, very brilliant director. That's why. But for me, you know, was like a way to introduce the character to create that kind of mysterious, like, you know, to flood the room with something mysterious and strange, like in Vertigo, for example.
Yeah. 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 No, it's
So
a
that's
great
why
it's good there's those are good scenes too because you're like, who is this? Like you're wondering who this is and her character development through the series is pretty crazy.
and she's honest or no,
Yeah.
she's lying or
Yeah.
she's honest or
Sh-
she's amazing.
She's so
Camila,
pretty, it's distracting, and you're like,
oh my
oh,
god,
you're so pretty. I just look at those like I'm like, you haven't had anything done? Like I just look at her and I'm like, wow, you're like a perfect specimen. You're beautiful.
she's funny.
And a great
She's
actress. Yeah, I remember her
like
from Daisy.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that too.
Yeah.
I said when I knew that she was me, I said, "Oh my God, she's so good.
Yeah.
She's Argentine. I don't
Oh,
know
is
if you
she?
know that.
I
She's not
didn't.
from Colombia.
Oh, wow.
She's from Argentine. I'm not sure if she live in your country, but I think maybe their parents are Argentine. But she
Maybe.
speak perfectly in an
Oh, that's
Argentine accent.
oh, I'm jealous. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfect. Um, I also took some photos off of your Instagram because I have to be honest, I saw the pictures on your Instagram and then when I saw the show, this room looks so much bigger on camera, first of all. To me, I was like, "Oh, this behind the scenes picture, it looks smaller than the huge room I thought that they came in." Was the am I crazy? Didn't he come down a big staircase and into the room? Is that
Yes.
but is that
Yeah.
the same
Yeah. Yeah.
place? Did I miss that?
This is this is Barcelona.
Mm,
This is because we were this idea was in the David Farr script is based in the Bogota Real Museo del Oro, the Golden
mm,
Museum. That is a museum that is real,
is
exists, and is about all the gold that they found in Colombia. But the museum wasn't enough visual for us, so we decided that we will make it because it wasn't enough visual to do the introduction of the three amazing characters.
yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
Teddy's, Roxy, and Matthew. In this case, the another identity, and so it needed to be feel very special and very elegant and chic so we found we were shooting in Barcelona, so we found this building in Barcelona close to the port. uh, I think it's look bigger because camera did an amazing job.
Yeah, they did a really amazing job. I thought this was huge for some reason. I don't know, when I watched it, and then when I saw photos, I was like, wow, I was
It's really funny
deceived.
because behind you can see in that big wall with the two wall
Yeah,
lamp.
the
This
sconce.
wall, we built it because behind that wall is a huge model of a boat. Because
Oh,
the building is a building about boat navigation. It's a kind of
oh,
museum,
like a maritime
and
museum.
y-
Yeah,
y- yeah, it was impossible because it's close to the port. It was impossible to move that boat.
right.
So we cover with that. I designed that wall to cover the boat. So,
It's
so
perfect.
that's
I mean, those sconces are gorgeous. So, and the way that the light comes through them is gorgeous. And then you have like a fringe curtains. Is that fringe? No. Is that
it was
what
a
is that
kind of chain
curtains?
thing that
Chain link?
Alba, the set deck, find this material that I've never seen. And it's a kind of chain, small
It's
chain to
chains.
wall. And it was perfect. I put it on the stair as well. And it was giving such a kind of
Yeah,
clinch,
movement.
to the yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
beautiful.
And for this, from the beginning we were thinking to do in Colombia, but we couldn't fix match with the schedule in Colombia because I was thinking to use Colombian artists, to do the all the
Yeah.
art pieces. But at the end, I couldn't, and that's why I call a friend of mine that is very talented. That I love him. It's called Asad Awad. He's a designer, artisan. He has been working for many different things, like dress, and he liked to use leather and many different material. Now he's working a lot with 3D things. So I called him and said, why we are not create together this exhibition. And I gave him the idea that I wanted to have like mask in front of the
Yeah.
actors, because I think it was really, there are even some image
It's
the
great.
DOP did very well to
Great
put
image.
mask in front of the actor.
Yeah.
Mm. We develop all these pieces. Assad did it very well. This is Assad.
Yeah.
He's a Lebanese guy that lived in Madrid for many years. He have worked for Lady Gaga. He have done many jobs for different Lady Gaga. I think for Beyonce as well. He's amazing. He's very. I can tell he's a good friend and he's an
It's
amazing
it's a lot
artist.
it's a lot to ask someone like we're doing a museum set and we need what like 10 pieces of art and they all have to have gold in them. Like they're it's such a I that's what I was like, "Oh, they didn't just go rent this art. They made this art." So your Instagram story was very informative, I must say. If anyone's following you, they should check it out because it's an amazing process to make all of these pieces of artwork. They're beautiful. And then
He's amazing.
I hope
He's
someone
very
took them
talented.
home. I hope someone took them. That's always when I'm like,
He did it. He did
okay,
it. He has
okay,
a
good. Okay.
very good studio in Madrid, and
Oh,
he did
good.
it. It was great. You must see, have a look of his web, of
I
his
will.
Instagram.
Yeah.
He's amazing, and is I can say he's a good friend of mine. So
Oh, that's
I'm very
great.
very lucky to have him as a friend, and we really enjoy to work together. It was the first time that we were working together, and
Oh,
that
that's
was great.
great. Did he have a lot of time? Did you know about the prep of this set coming up like a
He
couple
had
weeks?
we developed the whole museum like 4 weeks.
Oh,
4 weeks.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's a good amount of time
yeah, it's
in
good.
our
It's a
world.
good. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
It
know
was
for
enough.
actual
Yeah,
artists, but
and
like in
and
our
it
world.
was it was and it was the last bit of the show, and we were
Oh,
like
wow.
a tight budget thing.
Of
So
course.
so he did it amazing. He
Oh,
did it
wow.
amazing because no a lot of no bad time, but no big budget, to spend on it. So he did it. He
This,
saved me.
you never know. You know what I mean? Art, you gotta make it up. You may time I've done like art things and I'm like, just grab that hair dryer, paint it black and make it like criminal. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're like, just get trash and make it look like art. I don't know. We've done
Yeah,
that. For
it's funny. It's funny because there are some pictures. Is some picture that I did. So
Oh,
we put some picture, and I did some picture in Colombia, and we put it there as
oh,
well. So we
nice.
did so all the work that Assad did, that he created. At the same time, there was another element that Alba found, and it was a kind of myth. But the most of the bigger pieces are pieces from Assad.
Oh, wow. The great. That's fantastic. And fantastic for him to be able to produce so quickly on a schedule.
Really, it was the first time that he was in a shooting, so for him was a very nice experience.
Yeah, I'm sure. Now this is you're creating Pine's world and where he is staying. He's a nomad, really. He has no real identity at this point. I don't know. He's just
This point is Matthew Ellis.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is the first episode. It's a hotel. It's a Melia hotel in Barcelona, not
Mm.
in Colombia. I redecorate the whole thing in the hotel. We took like a whole floor of the hotel
Oh, wow.
location, did it, because there was several sequence, and it was impossible to the hotel say, okay, but you need to get the whole floor for the shooting. And we
Yeah,
did that, and I took this suite, I changed, for example, the wall. That wall is a
love that
wallpaper
wall.
that Alba showed me, that I will love it. And we create that kind of columns. Do you see the column with the palms?
Oh, yeah, here. Yeah,
Yes, that is a build, because I
to
I,
break it
I
up.
wanted to add a kind of tropical, flavor. And this is no the hotel. It was even the hotel, when you can see the room, say, "Oh, that's great. We love
Yeah,
it."
we love we keep it. Yeah. No, you have this like geometric pattern and then these like palms, so it's and a really like the salmon color bedding is really nice. It's really it breaks it up a little. How long, well, I guess you're putting in walls and stuff. You didn't have that long like prep and all in there. But the whole
For the hotel, we didn't have much. I think we have 1 2 days to do this. Everything was
yeah.
was we did it in the workshop that we had in Barcelona.
Mm,
We prepare everything to put it, and to do it really fast. And I think, I don't know, we have
and then install.
1 2 days
Yeah.
before to shoot, but no more than that.
And then this gorgeous house. I mean, it's
Yes.
such a gorgeous house with an amazing view.
Yeah.
Is this in Colombia or is this in Barcelona? Where-
This is Medellin. This
This
is
oh,
this is in Medellin.
Medellin.
If you so one of the things for Teddy House, I think for me, it was very clear for me, when you do this kind of big villas
Yeah.
that are very wealthy, and very, but I wanted to be close to the character. I think Teddy is a very important character in the way that he has that kind of, when he was a kid, it was in a convent with such a kind of austeric life, and that's why he's very tortured, and he has this life very, like, always have been feeling the lack of love, and that's why he hurt himself in that way. So
Yeah.
so that's why I wanted to be very austeric and very clinical,
Yeah.
and at the same time for me was, I think, the attraction between Teddy and Pine it's because they are more or less the same side of the coin,
Yeah.
different sides of the coin, but so and that's why they felt attractive.
Yeah.
So that's why for this house, I wanted to feel cool and elegant, but at the same time, I wanted to feel like, for example, if you see the other picture, I wanted to use the picture, for example, that you have.
Oops.
The is black and white, very yes. Or
Yeah.
for example, this is from Colombian artist that Melissa Villegas, or Sedec, introduced me. That is called Vanessa Gomez. That
Ooh.
she's amazing artist doing some kind of with arts, and it's amazing what she do. Even I bought this thing
You
because
did.
I fell in love with
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yes, yeah, I have it. So and it's amazing what she do. But I wanted to be very minimal in
Yeah.
how I was putting the whole thing. Even the bedroom of Teddy is just like the Crocs,
Yes, the
clothes,
Crocs. Yeah.
about the bed, and no more than that. The house is amazing, but his life is very clean.
Yeah. Very stoic. There's no I mean, it's very tone on tone here, and like it's very clinical, as you said. So
Yeah, the
you don't
life.
get anything out of his character for this, and you're kind of wondering who he is, and he's not. It's like I went to this person's house once. He had no family photos around, and I was like, "Are you a serial killer? Like, where's all your pictures of your family?" Like, so that to me is always a tell. When there's no
Yeah,
family photos, when there's no,
yeah, nothing personal.
yeah,
Or for example, in the studio, in the first floor, I put it a virgin, a painting of a virgin. To have that presence of the Catholic faith,
yeah,
and for him, it's like it's very torture character in that
yeah,
way. That, I think, for me, always spaces are telling these things about the character.
yes, absolutely.
That's what we do, don't you
Yeah.
think?
Oh, absolutely. Whether it's something is there or it's not there, it's a choice of ours in making the character's presence in the room. So yeah, and that completely conveys who he is with this. It's like a facade almost. It's like another mask, that you've given him.
Really.
Yeah.
And I think it was important to explain the attraction than Matthew Ellis and Teddy has,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they are more or less they are very torture character, and they feel really lonely in a way, and that's
Yeah.
why they are running and running. But they felt that kind of mirror between each other.
Yeah.
And that's why, because the London apartment of Andrew Burr is the same character, different identity. It was the same, very minimal,
Yeah.
clean. So that's why I was trying to create that kind of mirror thing.
I think you said it perfectly with loneliness. Like this is loneliness. There's no love, there's no, no, it's just flamboyancy, or it's just showing that I can do this now, but there's no personality in this at all. But yeah.
No,
Now this is a location, but you did a ton of work to this one. I mean,
oh my
oh my
God,
gosh.
was
You
look,
basically rebuilt this.
I didn't found this location. This location founded Matthew Patnick, the producer, and Barry Ryan, the In Factory producer. They said we have the perfect because they were before I arrived to the project. They spent time traveling through Brazil and Colombia and to try to find this location. So they found it, but they couldn't understand how abandoned it was,
Oh,
how much work to do. When I saw it, I said, yes, it's perfect. But guys, did need a lot of work.
it's a lot of work.
A lot of, look at how
Look
was
at
that.
this. And these
You
pictures are also on your Instagram. You have a fantastic story also of these showing before and after pictures. You
yeah.
guys, I mean,
I wanted
structurally, you did a lot to this.
I wanted to do it because it was if when I arrived, and when Matthew Barry showed me the location, was like guys, this is a lot of work to do. I love the location. The location was perfect because it was isolated. It's the perfect site. There was a kind of this lake in front that was perfect.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I was like, guys, you did it really right. But okay, let's going to figure out how to solve that because it was 4 hours from Bogota
Oh, wow.
in a very high temperature. It's an area called Girardot. You know,
Oh,
I was so worried about my crew, about the Colombian crew,
yeah.
because we work in a very high temperature. And it was like, we spent like 6 weeks working on the house.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean,
We
that
paint,
doesn't even
we
seem like
paint the
enough.
whole,
It's like,
yeah, the color of the house, the exterior wasn't like that. I decided to put that yellow. Uh,
oh wow.
strange. Yeah, we
Yeah.
painted the whole house.
Wow.
We did, this is more green. We put much more greenery around. This is greenery that we put. Everything was quite abundant.
Did someone living in here? No. Someone
They
was
were rented the
they
house sometimes, but no, there wasn't no one living
It's
around there.
huge.
There was
Huge I don't know, hacienda. I don't know what to call.
it's a Diana Trujillo, that was my supervisor and she was in charge of, to create, to help with all the build, with, she was amazing, and she did the whole thing in
Oh, it's
Colombia.
really
And
great.
she's a designer as well. She's amazing. We really enjoy to work together. And she told me that this house normally are coming from that kind of the narco era,
Oh,
where
yeah.
they built all these houses in the 70s and 80s, and because there was so much money to spend, and they were
Right.
creating these big houses. uh, and suddenly, with the things, everything changed because Colombia now is much better than that. So that's why it was like a kind of no abandoned at all, but no one was taking care of the
Yeah,
house
no
properly.
upkeep. Yeah, it's huge. It's beautiful structure and arches, and I'm sure the views are fantastic, but
Wow, the place
yeah.
was stunning,
Wow.
stunning. It's really funny because in the lake there was like a small crocodile. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the. It was a. They said it wasn't dangerous, but don't be careful. It's like,
Alligators? Were there alligators in there? Crocodiles?
yeah,
Yeah,
like a small, like
small
a
ones.
small
Oh,
ones, and it
Carmen,
was something from Colombia. What?
Carmen. There, I begins with a C or something. Cardamom? I don't know. I know what you mean.
In Spanish there was another name, but I forget it. Sorry, but it was like I saw sometimes some of them in the lake, but it was
You
like,
know, we in California sometimes when we go on location, there's snake wranglers because you're out in the woods or whatever, and whenever I see the snake wrangler, I'm like, did you catch any? Like, am I that blind and into my set that I don't know that there's a snake around? Like, that's this is not nice. It's unsafe, but
yeah.
I hate that. But yeah, I'm sure I'm sure you guys had some
And we create,
ailments.
the oni, and even on the back, all the
Oh
bogambillas that we did
yeah.
on that kind of oni as well in the front. Yeah,
I love this kitchen.
steak.
The choice to make this, there's like a build out with arches of like shelving, and the decision to make that green is so beautiful
Oh,
and
thank you. We
beautiful.
put all the doors.
All the
This
doors,
one,
yeah.
the, that Diana found.
Did they keep it? Did they make you paint it back?
I did. I didn't. It was really funny because they wanted to keep the color of the house because there was another shooting
Oh,
after us, and it was like Dora Exploradora.
oh, I don't. Dora the Explorer? Is that what?
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
Wow.
And the producer asked to keep the color because they
Nice.
wanted to shoot there, but the producer said no, no, we're not going to do that. So they need to change the whole thing that we did it.
Oh, I'm with them. I'm kind of with them. I mean, if
Yeah,
the owner
yeah,
wanted to
because
keep it, but like I've had that another company comes in and then you see your drapes in like another show and it's like, oh, I did that.
yeah, that's the thing. So it's not.
Yeah.
So the producer said, they asked me. I said, I need to share with the producer. So at the end,
Yeah.
they change it. Yes.
Beautiful kitchen, beautiful
And
layering. I mean, the little, I don't know if they're decals or you painted that, the little watermelons on the wall. It's really sweet.
we painted that.
Yeah. That's,
We was very lucky. I brought with me Chan Canelo, that is a scenic painter from Spain that for me is one of the
wow.
best. And he came to Colombia with me, and I took my lead graphic designer as well because I wanted to have some people to have
Oh,
in
sure.
Colombia to understand how was Colombia to reproduce in
Oh, yeah.
Spain. All the detail because it's so different.
Yeah.
So it was, at least for me, I wasn't the only one to know how was Colombia.
Yeah.
So and Chang, that is the scenic painter, have an amazing Colombian scenic painter like Didier, that he was very talented as well. Uh, and we worked together.
Because you can't, I mean, even as a decorator and looking at details, a painter's going to come in with the painter eye and look at that. Graphics person's going to come in with a graphics eye and pick up details that you might not. And as a designer, unfortunately, you're supposed to see it all, but you can't see it all. That's why you have good people to do that. It's a lot.
Because it's a
It's a
proper
lot.
job to do.
Yeah.
For example, David Alba, that was is my graphic designer. He understood. It was the other day. He's doing as well a lot of work in Instagram. He was describing how was the publicity in Colombia,
Ooh,
and they talk a lot about security and about so you see something of that, but you have so many different things to do that you are not
yeah.
focused on that. For example, they still use hardcore publicity in Colombia,
Oh,
so it's that in Spain, in Europe, you cannot do more of that. So there are many details that I think it was important to have these people with me to understand.
yeah.
I
Absolutely.
brought like my standby art director, Mary Burry, and people that to help me to try to create that coherent Colombia in Spain,
Yeah.
and that's why I did it.
It's also too, the credit, not only you wanting it, but also being allowed to do that, producers understanding our needs and being able to bring these people with us through the journey and why. So I absolutely applaud your producers and UPMs for
I,
allowing that.
I was really supportive for the producer, for Stephen, for example. I said,
Yeah.
of course, no, the whole team, but some of the team that I choose, I wanted with me to do that,
Yeah.
and to get all the knowledge from the Colombian team, from Diana, from
Yeah.
Melissa,
Yeah,
from
pull it out.
to understand how is that world.
Another room that you transformed in this villa, I'm gonna call it, but you did this beautiful like painting mural on the wall of like palm trees and it really made me think of like Colombian like Medellin like type things. Like when I saw I was like, "Oh, it really does look like they would have put that mural on the wall, made it feel like rich." You know what I mean? Like real.
Yeah, the intention creating these murals on the wall is it was like because for example, in the first season we see the Mallorca house of Roper,
Mm,
where is
yeah.
a kind of the kind of houses a British person with a lot of money go to Mallorca and rent his amazing, smart, chic house, and it's his choice. But in this case, for Robert, it wasn't his choice. He was trying to
Right.
be hide in an isolated place in a very exotic country. So for me, it was like to. I always try to treat this big villa as a golden cage, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
So
absolutely.
for me was to try to do that, and that's why I decided to do these walls as a mural, like with all this vegetation. Because the first for me is he need to feel like he's in a place that he didn't choose,
Yeah,
but and at the same time is his camouflage in that space. So
yeah.
that's why it was to try to again, as I said in the Teddy's Villa, to try to go with the character and to say a little bit more that I think is the job that we do.
Yeah.
As a designer, we need to support the narration, the story, and the character in the best way.
It
And
definitely
I
didn't
feel
feel it didn't feel like him. It doesn't feel like
Yeah.
he chose this. It does feel like a prison to him. It's a great contrast, and it's such a contrast from his previous, place. It's great.
I think yesterday I was talking with her because we have a conversation with Diana, that is the supervisor, and she was saying she's Colombia, but she lives in your country. And she said, I think one of the things that's why people is really enjoying the project, the show, is because to see, for example, that kind of British gentleman in the middle of that exotic
Yes.
country,
Yeah.
and house is very shocking, to see this Hugh Laurie that is the proper British
Yeah.
gentleman, and to see in this house is like, wow,
Yeah.
this is different, this is new, this is very cool.
I think too because it's so big, like you really get a sense of like it is like a prison. It is big. It's beautiful and the arches and the colors and the florals and everything, but it's heavy. It's a heavy structure around him, which really
Yeah.
conveys, I think, a lot when you're watching it.
And that's why, and that's even I did this strong color in the facade because that yellow is really strong.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
garish. And that's why, because it's like it's not an elegant, cool color, that
Yeah.
he will choose. Isn't he will never choose that kind of a strong yellow, because it's not very British, I will say, that color. It's
It's
very it's
it's
more
almost too
it's more
bright, like, it makes you stand out in a sense. I mean,
yeah.
and the purple bougainvillea you have really pops and everything. It's almost too pretty for him or something. It's
That's the
great.
thing. It's
Yeah,
too it's too showing for him.
yeah,
It's like it's not, I don't want to say showing off, but it's too much for him. So
yeah.
that's why I choose this is completely intentional.
Oh,
That's
it's
why I don't
great.
know if it's working well, but
I
it
do.
was intentional.
I do. And I think too the colors around them when he's walking around really make you feel like you're in a he's in a different place. He's out of his element. This is not who he is at all. And they have him dressed in like linens and like but colorful like a salmon color I think at one point, which I was like that's an odd choice. I thought about
Yeah, but that it's
it.
the same. Everyone was saying, Oliver, that was the costume designer. I bought one. Is I think it's called Guayabera. That is a very Colombian, very traditional Colombian shirt.
Oh,
I bought several, because are
like
really
a
nice.
Tommy
It's like,
Bahama, like like their version of Tommy Bahama.
yeah, I don't know what is that.
Oh, Hawaiian shirt. Sorry, Hawaiian. Yeah.
So the thing is very Colombian, very classical thing, guayaberas, and the linen is so nice.
Oh.
It's so artisan, So I
Mhm.
bought several one, and he was wearing that, but because he bought it the clothes there, so has sense in a way.
Right. Right. I mean, you're there, you might as well see what they're wearing. But yeah, the murals, the dark teal that you chose for the bedroom and it's really it is pretty. You made it pretty for him.
Thank
I'd
you.
say.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
and again,
I have very lucky to have this amazing talented scenic painter.
yes,
They understood what I wanted to do, and they did it so good.
because
It was,
they're all hand
it
painted.
was yeah, the awful thing is they painted after that. They
Oh,
destroyed the whole mural. I was
oh,
like,
that's really that's
yeah,
really a bummer because they're really pretty. You would think that they would keep that. I mean, I don't know. It's if it's not your style. I mean, I get it kind of, but to appreciate the art and effort that went into it, I'd have a real hard time painting over these like tropical
yeah,
murals just for
in,
the
in really high temperature, very,
Oh,
very high
yeah.
temperature. It's really funny because one day I like to cook, and and one day I was so worried about the whole team working in all part of the house because the house was huge, and I asked to my assistant, like, go to buy eggs and potatoes, and I cook like 3 or 4 big. Do you know what is tortilla
Oh,
española?
yeah, yeah.
Spanish tortilla.
Oh, yeah.
So I cook like 3 or 4
Oh,
Spanish
yeah.
tortilla, and at night we ate the whole thing with the crew in the hotel.
Oh,
And it
that's
was
awesome.
very, very nice. It's a small hotel close to a village, and that was really nice.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, and I'm sure very much appreciated for everyone's hard work too, because, you're asking people to do things because, this is what we need, but it's like the temperature and yeah, get some fans. I hope there wasn't bugs. I hope there wasn't, was there a lot of mosquitoes out there? Because you're on the water. A lot? Oh, I'm out. I'm
Around
out.
the water, around the water, and around all that nature, it was like, and we saw
I'm out.
everything. We saw all kind of
No,
animals that
lizards.
may even dangerous. Yes.
And then, yes, because then you did like the hostage situation and oh, well, this is the other house, but this is that house.
Yes, this house, the other one, if you put the other one,
Yeah.
this is Tenerife,
Um,
this is Canary Island. The house, for example, if you, how do you call the front step?
Porch?
It's like a
Like a
the
porch?
porch.
Yeah.
The porch is a belt
Oh,
because
it
in
extend it.
in Spain normally we don't have this kind of porch.
Hmm.
And it's a very Colombian thing. So to try to make it look like Colombia, all these country houses in Colombia have this porch around
Oh,
with these columns. So, and it was like a kind of a countryside, small family house from Roxy. And I built this porch to make it look more Colombia.
and then the
Because,
growth.
well, yeah, this is a completely, and of course, greeneries, green team, that is David Carr, that is the green
Green tea.
head of department in Spain. That he's an amazing, he's a British guy living in Spain. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He did a very good job. And it was really funny because it was the house was of a old couple, very nice old couple from Tenerife. And we rented the house for 3 weeks, and it was completely new, so we
Oh, God.
dirtied out the whole house to
No.
do it abandoned. So, but the family was happy to do it, and we production paid for that, and
There.
we changed the windows because the window was this kind of
Oh, you
how do you
pushed
say
that.
it in English? Plastic windows that wasn't
Yeah.
really right, so we did it
Vinyl
on wood to make it look, yeah,
to age it down.
Colombian.
It's always funny you take a location, you're like, "Oh yeah, hi, how you doing? How are you? Yo, this is great. Yeah, we'll see you in a couple weeks." You come back, you take everything out of their house. You made their house look like it shouldn't look, like down and dirty.
The good thing about this family has another house because the production offered to go to a hotel, but I said, no, we have another house in the island. We can go to that
Oh,
house.
good.
That was nice.
Because you don't want them around. You kind of don't even
Yeah.
want them around. I don't want you to see what we're doing. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things I actually really dislike of our job is going into people's houses and taking out everything and I feel bad and you see their dust bunnies and like everything, but okay, you got to do it. Looks great.
It's like it's very strange. People don't believe what we do, and you don't
No,
understand because when you see the show, people don't understand
no,
how we do it, and
no.
it's
I
it's
mean, to me, I thought maybe this was even a build because of it's a great built. This is a built-in bookcase in their house. That is there. I mean, that's crazy.
we built it.
Oh, you built it. Okay, I was gonna say that's a crazy element to have in your house. Oh, it's great. And
Something that I
sparsely
saw in
put in
another
there.
house in Colombia. I saw in another houses in Colombia, and that's why I did it. To try to create that kind. But it was a nice element to create
Yeah.
layers on the design.
Oh, I love it. And then you go into total grittiness of the of the hostage situation and militia and like weapons and everything. And did you build this shack?
Yes, we
Yeah.
built the whole thing. We did it in Tenerife as well. It was funny because we recce to do it in Colombia, but it was very to shoot in the jungle is really hard, and you can have of this kind of. I went to do the recce, and I have that, how you say, like small bugs in your body.
Oh, yeah,
Leaks.
yeah. Small.
Yes. So it was,
No.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was dangerous. So I went. So it was impossible to go with a crew there and to with the actor. So we decided that the real jungle,
Yeah.
wasn't an option for us. So we decided to do it in Tenerife as well. But it's true that was difficult to find the same vegetation, the
Uh,
forest, and how is it's in how exotic can be in Colombia. So we created as well. So we built all these camp. For example, this we did it. This is the jungle where they received the weapon,
yeah.
and it's a set.
Wow, that's a lot of green.
It's,
It's a lot of
it's another thing. We did it in the middle of a road that one part of the island give is allowed to use that space, but it was a kind of a road
oh, wow.
we created from zero, the jungle, because it was, and it was really funny because, for example, when I remember talking with Diana when I said I'm going to build the whole jungle, and she told me, so the jungle always at night is wet, so do that because even for the DOPs is great,
Yo, but
because
yeah,
all
for
the
him, it's great. The wet down.
yeah.
Yeah,
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 we went down the whole
yeah.
jungle because it's a way. It's normal how they have that kind of mist
Oh,
on the
wow.
jungle at night, and that's why everything is wet. So yeah, that was another knowledge that, for example, the Colombian team gave me.
Oh,
To
wow.
try to when we were replicating the whole thing in Spain.
That's crazy to build. It's crazy to build a jungle. I mean,
Yes.
and all the vegetation that you have to bring in, even like outside the windows, you have some cargo nets, but like you have to you have to give depth and oh my gosh, that's a lot.
It's funny because when I I grew up in Spain in the 70s and the 80s, and it was all the information that was coming from Colombia. It was the FARC, this guerrilla thing that was very dangerous, and
Yeah,
many people was killed. And all. So when I arrived to Colombia, I had this kind of prejudice about how was Colombia. Colombia have changed so much now.
really.
It's completely a different country. But the good thing, I have all this research from the Colombian team that they helped me to try to reproduce how was these guerrillas in the FARC.
Oh,
So I learned a lot how because it's many times this kind of camp has been mixed with narcos.
right,
So it was really interesting how they did it, how they were in the middle of the jungle, completely isolated, living in that environment.
right.
I learned many different things to try to make it more real for the story.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's amazing the things that we learn when we do this job, but it's also amazing how people really want to share and give details to us to make it correct. And I'm so appreciative of anyone who will like, oh, just take this and put it in your set, or like, this story once and this and this. It's so great to have that communication with people who lived it or who have hands-on seen it. So valuable to us.
Yeah, I had in Colombia a driver because we did many kilometers driving in that road
Yeah.
of the country, and I had a driver that he was at that time in fighting from the army, the Colombian army with the FARC. He
Oh,
told
wow.
me really, really very
Yeah.
stories very dark about how was to live in that at that times. It was the country was completely very, very. It was very dangerous to
Oh
live
my
there.
gosh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a Disneyland made there at any time soon. They could turn it around that good. They could probably get a Disneyland over there. Get them in there. Thank you. I mean, you had so many sets this season. I bravo, because I mean, throughout through like three different countries, 4 different countries. I mean, the places you went for this and recreating everything, bravo. It really, and such
Thank you so
character
much.
work, such beautiful, beautiful pieces. So I really applaud the work for this season. It was really,
It was me and a cute big team of
yeah,
talented people. You know how it is always.
yeah,
It's not only you.
yeah.
It's a big team working with you and supporting you, and that
Uh-huh.
was very nice. And to have the experience and adventure to learn so much
Yeah.
in that different culture. Yeah.
No, it's wonderful. And I don't know if there's 10 years down the road in the season 3. I don't know. I don't know.
See,
That
they're
ending
writing.
that ending's pretty sad though. Oh gosh, you know what I don't have in here is I just wanted to ask, I can't believe I don't have it on here. There is a scene with Elizabeth Coleman and I forget the other woman's name, but they're in like a modern library and it's these white
Yes,
lights.
Olivia Colman.
Uh,
Olivia Colman.
Olivia Colman, sorry. And
Yeah.
they have those white lights. Is that a location? Did you put those in or was that a location?
It was that was they changed because the story was very complicated and they wanted to change something in the script, and we decided to do that in a library, but we were in Tenerife, and that was a library need to be in London. So
Right.
so we did some location in Tenerife as it was in London, and, and that was a library that we found in Tenerife. And yes, that's completely
It's
that's
beautiful.
Spain. It's Tenerife as London,
Oh,
and
it's
it was really
beautiful.
funny because there are the MI6, the River House. Sometimes it was Barcelona. Most of the interior
Oh,
of the
wow.
River House, the MI6, was Barcelona,
Oh,
not
wow.
London.
I love Barcelona.
So,
Oh, wow. Yeah,
have
I
you
was
been in
thinking.
Barcelona too?
I have. I love Barcelona. I would go back there in a heartbeat. I love it. Um, yeah, I was thinking about that. Like I mean, it's a lot. It was a lot of, multiples of the lights and everything. So I was thinking that would be hard to get, but who knows? But
No, it was there. We didn't touch anything there.
beautiful location.
Yeah, very
And then
nice.
her house, like at the end, is really sad. I'm not gonna
In
say, but
France.
it's in
In France.
France. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Pyrenees. It's the French Pyrenees. You know that we have the
Yeah.
Pyrenees, Spanish and French. It's in the French side, and it's a location that we found because at the beginning, this house she was living in, like in Scotland, not
Oh.
in France.
Oh.
We decided that would be better France than Scotland. We did the recce. I did the recce with Juan Botella, that is a location manager, amazing in the north of Spain. We found the mountains are amazing.
Oh
I,
my
I
gosh.
love that image
Oh,
when it's really cool.
it's really beautiful.
Location that we found.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
It's very sad to lose Olivia
I
in the
know.
show.
Well, who
Everyone is
knows? We thought we
like
lost Hugh. So who knows? I don't know. That's pretty traumatic to do to that child, I must say, if it's a joke.
yeah, yeah.
But
It
yeah.
was poor child, yeah, completely. But I think when I saw it, you write the script, it felt to me very very epic end.
Yeah.
Normally I think now with the shows don't finish so dramatically.
Yeah.
This show finished in such a kind of dramatic way that I
Yeah.
think it's very powerful.
I didn't see that coming. I mean, you think about things like, but I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, and that poor kid. Is anybody there to take care of this kid in the middle of nowhere? This is like, oh, uh-oh, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really sad.
it's a
You're
shame.
right.
Thank you so much for giving me this time, and I loved hearing about all this.
Joey Kim, thank you so
Bravo.
much
That's a big,
to talk with me.
big job, man. That's a big show. That's a lot. So thank you so much, and
Thank you.
very
Okay.
great
I
to be
want to
here.
see you.
Yeah, if you ever come to LA, please let me know.
I'll do it.
I told you he had a great accent. I really enjoyed talking with him and found that it's doable, but it's hard. Like, our jobs are really hard, and you have to have that passion, boy, because traveling through countries and making all this work together, you gotta also have a little bit of a sense of humor, which I could feel like he had underneath it all, because that was a lot of work, a lot of sets all around the world. So bravo to him and his team for pulling that off. I don't know. Sometimes I talk to people and I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't do that. I don't think I can do that. I mean, I know that as a decorator, you really can do anything, but sometimes it just seems like they make our job so hard. Why would they do that to us? And then want it cheaper and faster, and we give it to them, and then they expect that. That's what I think. But he did a fantastic job. Bravo to him and his team again. So yes, please check out the YouTube channel again if you want to see the visuals on this episode. I'm telling you, the sets are fantastic. I'll be running also, as I usually do, on the Instagram and YouTube clips and TikTok and LinkedIn and Facebook. I run it everywhere. I want everybody to see it. So yes, please check it out. Also, please check out all of the extras that are on the Gold Room episodes. If you're not into that, it's a subscription series. It's once a month, and it's either on iTunes or Patreon, and it's a little extra. I'm giving out some extra episodes to people who really want deep dives. So those are always last month, I should say, not last month, but March 1st. I put it out the first week of the month, or the first. And this was more Art Directors Guild interviews from the Winner Circle. So if you're interested in that, check that out. What else? If you want the newsletter, aka one piece of email a week, sign up at decoratingpagespodcast.com. And yeah, what else? Masterclass, I got it all. It's all there. I've said it a million times. I just am thankful that you are listening and paying attention and liking and subscribing. That means the world to me. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you got an earful. I'm Kim Wanup for Decorating Pages.